2 days after the Election Commission finalized the poll dates for the 4 states and 1 union territory going to polls later this month as well as next month, Home Minister Amit Shah will visit poll-bound Tamil Nadu to kickstart the election campaign. This is Amit Shah's first visit to Tamil Nadu after the poll dates were announced. The Home Minister will arrive in Villupuram district in the state. He's going to be addressing a public rally there. Apart from that, Shah will also chair a meeting of Tamil Nadu BJP's core committee. Remember that the assembly polls in the state is scheduled to happen on April 6th. The BJP is contesting polls along with the ruling AIADMK in the state. Before Tamil Nadu, Shah will also visit Puducherry, which goes to polls on the same date on April 6th. He's going to be kicking off the election campaign in the union territory as well for the BJP. Shah will address a public rally at Karaikal and chair a meeting of BJP leaders. He's already in Chennai, touchdown late last night. And another big development that's coming from Tamil Nadu is that the AIADMK and the PMK have sealed the seat-sharing agreement. As part of this deal, the PMK will get 23 seats, and this announcement came just a day before Home Minister Amit Shah's visit to Tamil Nadu. Now, the seat-sharing formula has been sealed a day after the AIADMK government announced 10.5% reservation for the Vaniyar community represented by the PMK. The PMK, remember, had said that there will be no alliance if the reservation demand is not met. After the formula was finalized, PMK founder Dr. S. Ramadas appealed to members of the Vaniyar community to join hands, support the AIADMK and PMK alliance to emerge victorious in the upcoming polls. Meanwhile, a massive war of words has broken out between the parties involved in the Tamil Nadu Assembly polls after the Prime Minister accused DMK of promoting strongman culture. DMK chief M.K. Stalin has launched a counter-attack at Prime Minister Modi, saying that many BJP leaders have a criminal background.
Just days after Prime Minister Modi's strongman culture barb at the DMK.
Whenever DMK comes to power, they promote a strongman culture. Patronage
and accusing them of corruption.
Their leaders sit and brainstorm how to loot.
The fight for Tamil Nadu is now getting really personal. DMK chief M.K. Stalin has hit back at the Prime Minister, daring him to prove his allegations of DMK's corruption. Stalin also named the people in the BJP with a criminal background.
புளையந்தோப்பு பெண் தாதா கஞ்சா வியாபாரி அஞ்சல கல்வெட்டு ரவி 8 கொலை வழக்கு உள்ளிட்ட 30 குற்ற வழக்குகள் இருக்கு. நான் வாய் பிடிச்சதோ மாங்காய் பிடிச்சேன்னு பேச மாட்டேன், எதையும் ஆதாரத்தோடு தான் பேசுவேன். மோடி மாதிரி எல்லாம் எதை வேணாலும் பேசிட்டு நான் போயிட மாட்டேன். நான் கலைஞருடைய மகன் ஸ்டாலின், எதை ஆதாரத்தோடு தான் பேசுவேன்.
M.K. Stalin has said that the BJP has to first look into its own set of people before commenting on others, and he has listed out a set of names which he says has a lot of criminal background.
The battle for Tamil Nadu has intensified as the state is all set to go to polls on the 6th of April for its 234 assembly seats in a single phase.
We are prepared for the elections. Our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, has been campaigning extensively, and we have been exposing this government before the people of Tamil Nadu. So, April 6th is as good as any other date.
Tamil Nadu BJP leaders met with CM EPS and Deputy Chief Minister OPS in Chennai on Saturday to discuss seat-sharing formula.
As far as BJP is concerned, we are in upbeat mood, and definitely we are very sure that our NDA will once again come out successfully, and particularly from our party, we expect huge numbers of MLAs from our party for the first time in BJP in the assembly.
This as Home Minister Amit Shah will be visiting the state and addressing a public meet at Villupuram district on Sunday. Congress's Rahul Gandhi is also in the state as part of his 3-day visit. With Akshay Nath in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
With each passing day, the battle for Bengal is only getting fiercer. BJP has mocked the TMC's new slogan of Bengal wants its own daughter and countered Mamta's campaign with a poster of its own displaying its top women leaders from the poll-bound state. Here are the details.
It's bitter, violent, and abuses and allegations are flying thick and fast. All bets are off in the battle for Bengal. BJP has now launched its own campaign poster for the elections, mocking TMC's slogan, Bengal wants its own daughter. BJP released a poster with pictures of its women leaders from Bengal with the caption, Bengal wants its own daughter, not aunt.
बंगाल में हर घर का जो महिला लोग है, बहन है, माँ दुर्गा है, सब लोग प्रेजेंट कर रहा है। जो बंगाल में सिर्फ हम दीदी नहीं है, बंगाल में बंगाल का सब दुर्गा, घर घर में जो बंगाल का महिला लोग है, सब लोग दीदी के खिलाफ लड़ेंगे।
If Mamta is not the daughter of Bengal, how can be Narendra Modi is the son of Gujarat? Mamta may be Pishi. Somebody must be Masi, somebody must be Ma, somebody must be Pishi. But all are women, and they're the daughters of Bengal.
After the TMC launched its Bengal wants its own daughter campaign slogan, the BJP has now hit out with a poster showing prominent female faces from the Bharatiya Janata Party in an attempt to send out a message that yes, Bengal wants its own daughter and not Pishi.
Meanwhile, as politics peaks, so has violence. The Saffron Party has alleged that TMC workers entered its warehouse in Karapara area of Kolkata on Friday night and damaged its publicity vans. The miscreants not only damaged the Parivartan Yatra Raths, but also stole valuable items, including some LEDs.
मुझे कहते हुए बहुत अफसोस है कि अभी तक पुलिस ने कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की है। एक सामान्य सी रिपोर्ट लिख ली गई है, पर हमारे पास वीडियो फुटेज है, उनकी गिरफ्तारी होना चाहिए और कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई उनके खिलाफ होना चाहिए।
Workers present during the scene claimed that goons came with rods and they had to run to save their lives.
वो हमको रॉड से मार रहे थे, वो आयरन रॉड लिए हुए थे, तो हम लोग अपनी जान बचा रहे थे। हम तो दूर से आए हुए हैं, हमारी यहाँ किसी से दुश्मनी भी नहीं है।
BJP has already filed a complaint with the Kolkata police. In another incident, BJP office was vandalized in the Baranagar area of North 24 Parganas. The Saffron Party once again alleging TMC's hand behind this. BJP even approached the poll panel.
The reason why we raised it with the CEO was that we felt that it was the particular police station, the officer in charge of that police station has been woefully selective in whatever charges he has brought against 3 unnamed people. The charges which he has brought in are all non-bailable and none of them relate to the theft of the LEDs. We are taking of the partisan conduct of the police and the politicized manner in which the police administration is working.
But TMC has hit back, dismissing the allegations made by BJP.
हम ये सब तोड़फोड़ का राजनीति पसंद नहीं करते हैं। कहीं हो गया, लोग कर्मी लोग नाराज थे इसलिए कर दिया।
The men came into this warehouse. At that point in time, they didn't know who these men were. They said the men were here for about an hour and a half, and that's when they vandalized these vans over here. But the BJP, of course, looking at it as the handiwork of the Trinamool Congress, while this happened hours after election dates were announced. With camera person Raju Namdar, Prema Rajam in Kolkata for India Today.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, in an exclusive conversation on Seedhi Baat with Prabhu Chawla, says Bengal is lagging far behind the rest of the country.
योगी जी, आप भारतीय जनता पार्टी में स्टार कैंपेन में मोदी जी के बाद नंबर 2 आप आते हैं। हर जगह आपको बुलाया जाता है, हैदराबाद में बुलाया जाता है। इसके पीछे कारण क्या, कि एक ध्रुवीकरण करना लोगों का, या आपकी परफॉर्मेंस का? आप वेस्ट बंगाल पर जा रहे हैं तो आप किस तरह के इशू उठाएंगे जहाँ पर?
देखिए,
असम जाएंगे,
हम
आप सब
लोगों
जगह
को प्रदेश
त्रिवेंद्र में इतनी भीड़ मिली,
हमने प्रदेश के अंदर या फिर देश के अंदर जो भी चीज हम लोग करते हैं, देखिए 2017 में जब हम लोगों ने प्रदेश विधानसभा का चुनाव लड़ा था, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी थे और राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष माननीय अमित शाह जी थे। उन दोनों का मार्गदर्शन मिला और प्रदेश ने बहुत सफलतापूर्वक इस कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाया। आज भी देश के अंदर जो भी कार्यक्रम लगते हैं, सभी राष्ट्रीय नेताओं के कार्यक्रम, राज्य के मुख्यमंत्रियों के कार्यक्रम और सभी अन्य सामान्य कार्यकर्ताओं की भी जहां उनकी आवश्यकता होती है वहां पे उनके कार्यक्रम लगते हैं। तो कार्यक्रम की जो पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता, भाई यूपी में चुनाव होंगे और राज्यों से भी कार्यकर्ता आएंगे।
सामने आप जो जा रहे हैं, आप क्या इश्यू उठाने वाले हैं वहां पर?
वहां से जुड़े हुए जो इश्यू होंगे,
क्या ममता,
जिस मॉडल को हम केंद्र सरकार के साथ मिलकर सफलतापूर्वक यूपी में लगा करके यूपी की आमदनी को दोगुना कर देते हैं, यूपी को ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में 12 से 2 नंबर पे ला सकते हैं, यूपी को 5वें नंबर से दूसरे नंबर पर आर्थिक ताकत के रूप में स्थापित कर सकते हैं, बंगाल क्यों नहीं हो सकता है?
नहीं, वो बंगाल में जब आपके नेता चाहते हैं जय श्री राम, और आपसे बड़ा मॉडल क्या है?
जय श्री राम क्यों? जय श्री
राम,
तो
आप भी तो
जय श्री राम तो ये हमारा एक सामान्य शिष्टाचार का उद्बोधन है। हम जब आपस में मिलते हैं, देखिए ये राजनीति को बाद में हुआ
के चुनाव में वेस्ट बंगाल में जय श्री राम का नारा नहीं लगा था।
प्रदेश के अंदर अगर आप जाएंगे कहीं भी, यूपी बिहार में आप जाइए,
राम जी बोलते हैं,
राम बोलते हैं ना। हाँ, पर क्या ये राम मैंने दिया?
2016 में वेस्ट बंगाल में योगी राम श्री राम का नारा नहीं था।
सनातन संबोधन है हमारा।
देखो उनका नारा,
अगर आज भी आप देखेंगे, देखिए आपके माँ बाप ने आपका नाम प्रभु रखा, कहीं ना कहीं प्रभु के पीछे का भाव ही रहा होगा कि भाई राम या भगवान शिव या भगवान विष्णु उनके सामने रहे होंगे।
नहीं, वहां जो है
रख दिया।
आपकी पार्टी
मैं वही कह रहा हूं, देश
जय श्री राम, वो कहती है जय सिया राम।
मैं क्या कर रहा हूं, देखिए
ममता का नारा है जय सिया राम।
सिया राम भी तो देखिए,
और आपका नारा है सिर्फ श्री राम।
मैं क्या कह रहा हूं ना, हमारे यहाँ सिया राम और श्री राम में बहुत अंतर नहीं है।
यहाँ वेस्ट बंगाल में ये नारा लगाएंगे ना जाकर के,
सीता राम को जोड़ करके ही श्री राम बनता। श्री जो संबोधन है ये माता सीता का ही संबोधन है। तो इस समझ की
वेस्ट बंगाल में आप जो जा रहे हैं वहाँ पर इशू तो यही है ना, वहाँ पर झगड़ा तो यही है कि वहाँ पर अपीजमेंट हो रहा है माइनॉरिटीज के साथ, सब इशू वही बनाया जा रहा है ना।
बंगाल में अभी मैं उत्तर प्रदेश में हूँ, उत्तर प्रदेश की बात करी, जब बंगाल में जाएंगे बंगाल में बात करेंगे।
नहीं, बंगाल में आपको तो ब्रीफिंग तो आपके दिमाग में जब आप बोलते थे और जस्वी वक्ता है।
देखिए हम लोग ये सब धारणाएं पहले नहीं बनाते हैं, वहाँ जाकर के जो कुछ बोलना होगा बंगाल में बनाएंगे।
ममता जी भी चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, उनकी परफॉर्मेंस भी है सबके सामने।
देखिए बंगाल परिवर्तन की राह पर है।
क्यों?
और मेरा विश्वास है
क्यों
कि जो विकास यूपी के अंदर हुआ है, जो विकास भारतीय जनता पार्टी शासित राज्यों में हुआ है, यह विकास बंगाल के अंदर भी होना चाहिए और विकास का लाभ बंगाल के नागरिकों को भी मिलना चाहिए, क्योंकि बंगाल भारत की सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद की धरती रही है।
आपका कहना है यूपी मॉडल जो है बंगाल पे इम्पोज करेंगे आप?
मैं क्या कह रहा हूं, ये मॉडल देश के विकास का मॉडल जो मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में पूरे देश ने अडॉप्ट किया है और जिसको सफलतापूर्वक आगे बढ़ाया जा रहा है।
यूपी की सक्सेस स्टोरी तो यूपी की है ना।
यूपी में
तो वेस्ट बंगाल में जब योगी जी जाएंगे तो यूपी मॉडल ऑफ गवर्नेंस जो है,
मैं क्या कर रहा हूं ना, ये चीजें वहां की आवश्यकता के अनुरूप बताता हूं।
Worrying COVID-19 situation in the state of Maharashtra because the cases are continuing to go up. Over 8,000 cases for the 4th straight day has been reported in Maharashtra. That's a total of 8,623 new cases that were reported from across the state yesterday. Amid the rising cases, the Amravati district administration has decided to extend lockdown in Amravati and Achalpur cities till the 8th of March, whereas Anjangaon Surji village in Amravati district has been declared a containment zone. Union Cabinet Secretary meanwhile chaired a high-level meeting to discuss the situation in states that are witnessing a spike in COVID cases. The centres advised these states not to lower their guard and to deal firmly with those who are not following COVID-appropriate behaviour. And let's get you our special segment on coronavirus, the good, bad and ugly news.
bringing you good news during the time of COVID-19 pandemic. Even though states like Maharashtra, Kerala and Karnataka are witnessing sudden spike in COVID-19 cases, there are 17 such states and union territories that have not recorded a single death due to COVID-19, and that's always a relief. Well, these states are Gujarat, Odisha, Chandigarh, Jharkhand, Himachal Pradesh, Puducherry, Manipur, Mizoram, Lakshadweep, Ladakh, Sikkim, Dadra and Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, Andaman Nicobar Islands, Tripura, Meghalaya, Nagaland as well as Arunachal Pradesh. Now, high-level cabinet meet is also being convened to check on the states that are reporting more cases, but definitely these 17 states are performing much better in containment than other states in the country. Well, on the bad news front on COVID-19, a government-aided school in Kolkata has shut down after the teacher tested positive for COVID-19. Reports suggest that teacher was teaching a class of 28 students who are now being quarantined and will now be tested for symptoms of COVID-19. Unfortunately, when the teacher was in class, she did not report any symptoms that were visible that could say that she is infected with the virus, but after she reported fever, she had to test herself and unfortunately her test was found to be positive. This is bad news for those schools that are now opening, because the classes of 11th and 12th need some training before they can prepare for their essential board examinations. The Kolkata Municipal Corporation has sanitized the school, and contact tracing of the 28 students who will now be testing for COVID-19 is currently underway. In a move that certainly brings out the worst side of the COVID-19 pandemic is where the Kalyan and Dombivli Municipal Corporation has now banned the sales of medicines that are off the counter without prescriptions. Now, if you need to go and take a paracetamol, you will need a doctor's prescription, because the municipal officers there are saying that people who are reporting COVID-19 symptoms are just taking over-the-counter medicines and trying to suppress them. And this is causing immense trouble for the municipal corporation to test and trace those who may have tested positive for COVID-19. The move comes amid a single-day spike of 200 cases in Kalyan and Dombivli districts alone, which is very close to Mumbai city as well. And this is giving nightmares to the municipal corporation officers, which is why they have imposed a ban on the sale of over-the-counter medicines without a doctor's prescription. It's very important to test and contact trace those people and separate and isolate them from those who are healthy.
Welcome back. The probe into Hrithik Kangana email row has deepened. Actor Hrithik Roshan has recorded his statement before the Mumbai crime branch. This happened yesterday. The actor has been summoned in connection with his complaint, alleging that someone impersonating him had sent emails to actress Kangana Ranaut using a bogus email ID. Sources say that after Hrithik, Kangana may also be summoned in this case. Here are all the updates you need to know.
Actor Hrithik Roshan visited the Mumbai Crime Branch office on Saturday to record his statement in the 2016 online impersonation case. The questioning went on for around 2 hours, following which Hrithik left the Crime Branch office without speaking to media.
After 2 hours of questioning, actor Hrithik Roshan is leaving from the Mumbai Police Commissioner office. Right in the visuals you can see over here. We'll try to speak to Hrithik Roshan. A complaint was filed by Hrithik Roshan was someone was impersonating him and chatting with Kangana Ranaut, while Kangana Ranaut was alleging that it was Hrithik Roshan who was chatting with her.
The case dates back to 2016 when Hrithik had sent a legal notice to Kangana Ranaut following a social media fight where she referred to him as a silly ex. Hrithik had denied any relationship with the Queen actor. Later, Hrithik filed a complaint alleging that someone impersonating him was sending mails to Kangana using a bogus email ID. Kangana, however, claimed that the email ID in question was provided to her by Roshan himself, and that they had been using the same to communicate till 2014. In 2016, the cyber cell had seized Hrithik's laptop and mobile phone for investigation. Mumbai cops are now likely to summon Kangana to record her statement in the case.
The case has been transferred to Mumbai CIU last year in the month of December. Now, after Hrithik Roshan's statement, his statement will be properly analysed by the official, and if necessary, Kangana Ranaut may also be summoned in this case. With camera person Mangesh Amre, this is Saurabh Bakhtania in Mumbai for India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.